I wonder. Hello again. Welcome to episode 6 of my Minecraft Let's Play. You just saw a nice montage of some ominous trials. Just trying to find a slime turned into multiple real-life days of ominous trials. So that was a bit of fun. That was my first time having a go in those. So to start off today's episode, I'll show you the loot that we got. And then continue on with our goal of score slime, save salmon, sexify my suit, which got slightly off track on the last episode. Well, you heard one of the loot things that we just got then, and that was this Lena Raine creator music disc. And this is the loot we got. A couple of ominous trial keys left over. I think I ended up looting 2 different trial chambers. Theo, met up with Theo, and he had one near his base, so after I went through the one that we found together on the last episode, popped on over with him and we went through that one, and this is what I ended up with. A heavy core, so that was pretty exciting. I've watched some people and they've been looking for they were looking for those for a while, so quite happy I found one of those. Only one of the music discs. I think you can find 3. 2 of the templates, I think there might only be 2, I'm not sure. The Guster and Flow wind banner pattern, some of the new wind charges, a couple of golden apples, a few books. I got an Impaling 3 book, Feather Falling 4 book, so I mean that's pretty cool. We don't have any kind of enchanting setup yet, so Feather Falling 4 will be awesome. Silk Touch. I was super excited when we found the Silk Touch. And another Silk Touch. So this one I've already put on a pick. And then just some loot down here. So one thing I was also really excited about was the cactus and some snowballs. So I found some snowballs in some of the dispensers that you can find around the child chamber. And so I'll now have access to snow without even visiting a snow biome. So that's a bit of a bonus. And cactus for green dye, which will be coming in handy for the next part of this episode. Yeah, so pretty happy with what we ended up getting in here. Oh look, and look at that infinity bow. Lots of stuff from there, so that was pretty fun. Fun first trial chamber. As you can see in here, we can definitely say that we have scored slime. Tick off score slime off the list, so that's awesome. We'll get on to using that in a bit. But I think now it's time to get on to the second part of this, well, what was supposed to be one episode, and that was save the salmon. So in the last episode, I talked about how I needed a new food source and that I was getting sick of killing salmon. And I said that I'd killed, 214 salmon? Well, it is now 346 salmon. I really need a new food source. And that will be what we do today. We didn't need these allays in the end, did we? Anyway, we'll find out something to do with them. So for our food source today, I think it's going to tie in with our landscape barn area out here. And I have done one new little thing to the area. And I've added in a couple trees. So these trees are based off of a tree I have at home, another native tree to New Zealand. It's called a tocha tree. And I have one right outside where I live. And when they're quite long-lived and very large trees, and when they're still in their, what do you call it, more immature state, they have this kind of conical shape to them, and it's just like the one we have at our place, and it's probably like 20, I think the tree's probably over 20 years old, and it's still, considered immature, and yeah, it still has this conical shape. The type of tocha tree that I have at the place I live, it grows, its new growth is a very kind of mustardy, yellowy green colour, and I tried to replicate that with using the spruce on the bottom and then merging my way up to the oak colours on the outside and then adding in some of the orange glass. I would say the orange glass isn't quite the kind of goldeny, mustardy colour that I was going for, but the yellow glass was just too much of a contrast. So I just added in a sprinkling of that on all three of these trees to try and make it look like it gets lighter as the new growth. So yeah, pretty happy with those just dotted around the landscape. I think I would like to have gone a bit tree crazy, it seems, but I think I'd like to change the forests around here to possibly, be a tocha forest. We'll see. And I've done a little bit of landscaping around the place. Just added in a few more paths and tidied up some of the hills. But back to saving the salmon before the sun sets. I'm thinking I'm going to put a little building out here. Just plonk right here facing this way, and it's going to be a chicken hutch. And I think we're going to have chicken as our new food source, hopefully. I have a few ideas on how I want to do that, the classic chicken cooker situation. And let's get to it. Hi, it's me. So once again, things didn't go as originally planned. After I built the coop, dug and lined a giant hole, and built the redstone, I decided I wanted some more silly redstone features and a second coop. So after building some dirt shapes and staring them for a long time, I finally finalized their position, tore everything down, and began to rebuild. Then, once again, Tragedy struck. I ran out of iron. Since I needed more hoppers for the redstone monstrosity I was about to build, I decided to build a water tower with an iron farm inside. After all this, I was finally sorted and completed this build. Yeah, so that is our build. Ran into a few different changes, but we got there in the end. And I'll show you around. So I wanted to go for kind of a free-range chicken look. And I accomplished that by, I mean, it's not the best look, and I don't have moss yet, but I think eventually this will blend in a bit better. And I'll use the berry bushes with carpet on it to keep the chicken in a certain area. So they don't, yeah, as you can see, they don't cross that. So we've got kind of a few different sections that are blocked off that hold the chickens in there. Sometimes they get across, I think, when like one chicken's on the edge and then say another chicken comes up next to it and pushes it off. I think that's one way they can get out. But other than that, we've got like a nice look of some free-range chickens. I think it's pretty cool. You saw in the time-lapse one of the redstone features that I added in, so I can show you how that works. We'll put this in our inventory, and the other one requires an egg, so I'll just walk around until I can pick one up. Here you go. You're guaranteed to find one with this many bloody chickens around the place. So the first set of redstone things is in this first chicken coop. Kind of a bit more of a lean-to storage area. Thought it looked quite cute. And the first one is any feathers that get produced from the chicken cooker go down in here. And then if I want to, I can take them out and put them in here. Any overflow from here will go down into some storage below. I'll show you all the redstone behind it later. The next redstone thing is I wanted to be able to say pick up a stack of eggs or come here to get eggs as you would when you have chickens. And to do that, I set up two different systems here. One of them you'll get about a stack of eggs, I think it's 15, and the other one will dispense a stack of 15 eggs, so it will kind of have the chance of spawning a bunch more chickens. I just thought that was fun. So we have in here, what came first, the chicken or the egg? So if we pop our egg into this one, takes a little bit. Oh, is it working? Boom! Look! We should end up with, I think it's about 15 eggs. Yeah, I think that's about right. I also added in the feature, say if we put in something that isn't an egg, that should just pop up back here. Yeah. So if you accidentally throw in like your tools or whatever, it'll just pop back up there. And if we say put our chicken, oh, if we put our egg in the chicken, there's a chance of spawning chickens. So let's see that. You saw that one of them titles. There we go, we got one chicken. I did that by pushing in a minecart in this block down here. You can kind of see a few pixels over here on the side, but I don't think it's too noticeable. I have another little kind of chicken hut thing in here. I went through so many different styles of chicken hutch, but ones that like kept the chickens in there. I don't know, it was a lot of fiddling around. This one was alright. I didn't, you know, I thought I'd just whack it here in the back. It wasn't my favourite, but I really wanted to keep the chickens in a little area but be able to see the chickens rather than them being shut off like completely like this one. And that was just one style I came up with. We also added in a few younger tortilla trees. Excuse my pronunciation. Previously I mixed in the Kiwi slang was coming in strong there, but yes, it's actually pronounced tortilla. Yeah, added in some of those. What else do we have? Oh, our last little one, which is the main reason for making all of this, which was saving the salmon, making chicken our food source, was this one here. Again, it involves eggs. I wanted them to all just be something funny and something silly, rather than just opening a barrel. Although, I don't mind that. That's totally fine. I've got that for the other thing. I've got that for the feathers. But if I could, I just wanted to try and add in some silly little things in this world. And one of them is this. So if we want, we can actually just go up and access this chest here, and it will give us, there'll be chicken in there. But if you can see, you can see it up there. There is a target block kind of hidden away. I haven't actually checked this yet in the survival world, so it could go terribly wrong. But you can see the chicken there. That was, I'll show you. You can't just hop in. Again, I've used the bushes underneath the carpets to keep the chickens in here. And these are kind of like little chicken stalls. Anyway, back to it. So I can just access in here and get some chicken if I want. Oh, you can hear the redstone going. Or, hopefully if it works, fingers crossed, I should, if I hit this target block, let's take this out of my inventory and hopefully it pops in. Fingers crossed. I don't want to hit the chicken. Nope, missed. Nope, missed. I didn't really want to see. Oh no, missed. Made a chicken. Get out of the way, chicken. Kind of wanted to hide the target block. Oh, there we go. Chicken! Yeah, cool. So about a stack is gone from there. Yeah, so if I want, I can very poorly throw an egg at that target block and get some chicken dispense. So let's have a look at the spaghetti redstone for this. You can access the way in over here. This is my spaghetti redstone. I'll try and explain it the best I can. I'm definitely not the best at doing that. And I'll link channels or videos for the different components that I use in this redstone so you can follow along, because I definitely didn't come up with them. The first one you'll see that I'm standing on, that you'll probably know quite well, is the ether hopper clock, and that is used for the timing for how many chickens out of this chest get pulled down and then dispensed up through here for us to get if we hit that target block. This is the redstone for that. And the chicken goes into the chest. It comes from this little chicken farm here. So there's a few things that come off this chicken farm. The first one is this row here, and that is a storage of eggs. So we have about a double chest here worth of eggs that get stored, and then these are the 2 rows. So this row here is the dispenses the chicken eggs, and this row here is the droppers the chicken eggs. So if you want eggs, it comes from this row. If you want possible chickens, it comes from this row. And these are the hopper lines for the can we see it? No, we can't quite see it even with the free cam. Oh no, there we go. Oh, maybe? Well, yeah. Minecart hopper goes down. And then there is a filter on each side for eggs, and anything else that isn't eggs will go into this dropper and get dropped back up here, like you saw with the rotten flesh. The next part of the chicken cooker is the standard, shoots the eggs into this little chamber and waits for the chickens to grow up. I then have the first, I then have 3 filters here. The first one is the feathers, and so the feathers get shot up this way here into that barrel, and then any overflow, you can see that there's a redstone line here, so when that barrel is full, it turns off this redstone torch, and then the feathers will go into this little bulk storage here. I didn't want to get rid of the feathers. I kind of thought it would be good to just have a bit of a storage of them. The second filter is for any raw chicken. Sometimes I have seen some raw chicken in there, so just to catch any of that, if there's any entity cramming, I have a raw chicken chest here. And then the last filter is obviously cooked chicken, and that sends the cooked chicken off back down this way. So you can see why I needed more iron. Obviously there's a lot of hoppers in here. Yeah, so I used obviously the etho hopper clock, some of the impulse SV item filters. What else is in here? There's a comparator decay pulse lengthener here for the eggs. What else have we got? Different dropper and hopper dropper lines. Beep boop, beep boop. Yeah, beep boop, redstone. Again, not a redstone genius. A bunch of this could probably be compacted, but I was pretty happy with how it turned out. As you can see, I obviously needed a big giant hole as well. And yeah, for now, chicken will be our main source of food. Yeah, so apologies for the probably terrible explanation. Yeah, so I was pretty happy with how the design of this came out in the end. I think it fits into the landscape really nicely. I like that I don't have to use the fences. I think once I get a bit of moss and things, I can probably make this all blend a lot nicer and add in some paths and things. But from far away, I think it looks, well, I think overall it looks pretty nice. I wanted to keep the red and white kind of like the top of the barn in, but not go crazy, so tried out these other roof designs. But yeah, as you can see, a ton of iron. So I'll take you over to the iron farm and we'll see, and I'll show you that. Alright, let's head up to the water tower, which you can kind of see in the distance. Not a build I was expecting to do just yet. Probably in the next couple episodes, but when you need iron, you need iron. This one I had fun designing too. I think it has, like the barn, it has that kind of cartoony vibe. She's a little bit of a thick boy water tower, but I did base it off a bunch of images online, with that like central water column going up the top, the kind of structures that hold it in place, a bit of a walkway around the edge, and I did leave the top This is where the cartoon kind of aspect comes in, leaving the top to look like there's just water sitting there. I think most of them had like a triangle or domed roof on it, but I just couldn't get that to look how I wanted. And having this big carpet on the top here means I can actually just break that quite easily, and the iron farm is right underneath it here. Unfortunately, it seems to break every now and then. I'll show you. This farm is based off, I think, an ENX04 farm. I'll link it down below. But I don't know, I've added in a few different things to try and get it to keep working. I don't know if it's because I've obviously changed the layout of where and how the golems spawn, because they spawn down in here and then get pushed off. I don't know if that's what's happened, but I have replaced one of the villagers in here once before already. It seems that one of the villagers won't stop becoming aggro. The other two will, and they'll sleep for a moment, but there's like one of them that happened before. They just won't stop being aggro, so he never sleeps, and then so the iron golems stop spawning. I added the poppies around the base to kind of signify all the iron golems, just a little nod there. And then it kind of goes down to, I don't know, almost like a well down the bottom. Yeah, symbolizing, you know, the water gets, I don't know, pumped up from the bottom, who knows. I don't really know. I don't know how water towers work, but there's water at the top, and I think it looks good. Anyway, I'll show you the redstone again for this one. This one I wanted to do, you saw in the clip. Just a few other fun redstone things, like being able to see the golems. You can, when it's working, you can see the golems just fall down through here. I could possibly make this a bit darker or drop it down so you don't see the stairs straight away, the fence gate straight away, but if you don't look, then it's fine. But yeah, I think it looks nice. We have this like little thing here, and then when an iron golem does drop down and gets killed, there is a gap here, and the iron ingots will fall down from here and then get sucked up by a hopper under there. And as you saw in the clip, if I stand on this pressure plate, we have a minecart chest which has all the iron that I have in it. So this is the iron that I've accumulated so far. It's, you know, it's definitely a decent amount of iron for this early on. If I hop off the pressure plate, away it goes. And the bulk storage for that is down here. I like to line my redstone areas with this, just so I know not to break into it. You know, as you can see, I have it kind of on the floor here, so it just kind of helps. I don't know. Maybe I have OCD, who knows. And the iron ingots go down here. There's a filter, another emboss SV filter down here for the poppies. Once I get enough poppies to turn off this torch, it will let poppies through and destroy them. I think having one whole double chest worth of poppies will be enough storage. Eventually I might send that off somewhere, make something cool out of it. And then the iron ingots go into this dropper system, which you see comes up and drops it down here. So then the iron ingots drop down there, which you saw. Looks pretty cool. And then this, once they drop down into that hopper, they go into this crafter here. And I've set it so once it's full of iron to create an iron block, it crafts, and then it goes down into this bulk storage with the minecart at the bottom. And then, as you saw, standing on a pressure plate up there will trigger this, and then send that minecart up to us, and then send it back down, and it will sit there. So it's pretty awesome, I think, anyway. The entrance at the moment leaves a little bit to be desired, but we'll get there. Cool, so we've almost finished saving the salmon. But before we save the salmon off our list, there's one thing I want to do first. And that is... Of course, now I want salmon. There's none to be found. Ah, here we go. And since we're saving the salmon, yoink. I think we better add some life to our little lake or pond, or I don't know what its technical term would be, but let's save the salmon. Oh, Semi-E. Oh, Semi-E. Come on, Semi-E. I think that's how you, is that how you name a fish? I don't know if I need to name tag it once I put it out of the bucket, but I think we can cross off, save the salmon after we plop old, no, Semi-E. No, Semi-E! Alright, we can pop Semi-E in here, save the salmon, cross that off the list with Semi-E swimming around. Your home's a bit boring at the moment, it's just mud. Don't worry, I'll make it prettier.